Hey everybody. Uh, Sorry, reading the comments still. Thanks for coming in. This is the Sunday Night Roundtable Volume 50. We're just a couple weeks from being 1 year doing this, so a little bit of a milestone, probably a little bit more of a milestone in a couple weeks.
We're just a couple
Uh,
weeks from being 1 year doing this.
and let
So
me.
a little bit of a milestone, probably a little bit more of a milestone in a couple
I
weeks.
think I got
We're
my
just a
mute.
couple weeks from being 1 year
That's
doing this.
you, Don. Dadgummit.
A little bit of a milestone,
You
probably
rookie.
a little bit more of a milestone. 1 year doing
Hey,
it.
and dadgummit.
A little bit of a milestone,
You
probably
rookie.
a little bit
It's still on you, Don.
Huh? There we go. I thought I had it muted.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. We've been doing this for years and we still can't get it straightened out, including myself. So anyway, we got Don. Trees are blowing. I got Blue 823. I couldn't remember if you still had the 823 on there or not. Anyway, a couple of good friends. I'll let them do an intro. Blue, I'll let you start first. Make sure and let them know about your contest, your giveaway, and then I'll go to Don. But go ahead, Blue.
No, thanks for the invite as always. I can't wait to get this thing started. We always pretty much start off with zero topics and just kind of roll with it, which works pretty awesome. The let's see here, the giveaway, 1,000 subs. We got a speed loader from Pop's Quest, upped it up to a 2-ounce silver package. Those are for the VRs. There's a bunch of other stuff in there, Streamlights, some Key Smarts, Pocket Constitutions. There's a trauma kit for gunshots, which I think is pretty cool. I'm gonna have to pick up another one for myself just to keep around the house. But get in on it. It's real simple. Just need a VR with a trick shot. Don did one with the disappearing playing card. Still waiting on one from TR, but he's been busy this week, so it's all understandable. But yeah, and if you don't do VRs, I did leave a section. There's 3 packages for comments only. So that's where we're at.
I was trying to unmute myself. I wasn't even muted. Sorry about that. I hope I didn't make any noise over you. Don, go ahead. Do an intro, my friend.
Well, thanks for having me, TR. I'm Don from Trees Are Blowing, just basically shooting and guns and a little bit of everything channel. Good to be here.
And Blue, the only thing that I've come up with is a trick shot. I was telling Don about it before you came on. I don't know any trick shots, but it's going to take me a little bit of practice to make sure I can do it. The only thing that I can think of that maybe I can do that's unique or a little bit different is a quick draw with a 45 long Colt single action and actually hit a target point aiming. And that's what I plan on doing. So it might take me a little bit of practice, and but the video's coming. I promise.
So you're talking about one of those, you pull it out of the holster, you pick up the revolver, and like you run your hand over the hammer and.
Yep, that's exactly what I plan on doing.
Yeah,
I know it's not quite a trick shot, but that's the best I can do.
yeah, but the thing is, like, it doesn't even need to be like a trick shot. Like, you don't have to shoot a freaking penny in the air with a 22 or anything like that. But just something different. And that's the thing. It does not have to be shooting related. You could throw a pocket knife at something. You could throw a tomahawk. Somebody entered one in with they freaking tossed a pitchfork through the air and it landed in the target. And I was like, it's a trick shot, something I've never seen before. So I'm not. The rules aren't like so restricted that you have to do this certain thing. It just has to be something cool.
Yeah, that was Mr. Holster. That's pretty cool. I seen his target and had them holes diagonal, and I thought maybe he was just going to shoot and put an X there, and he threw that blame pitchfork, at the opening of it.
I see HRM said get a Hillary doll and Tannerite.
There you go.
Yeah.
Stuff her fanny with a little tannerite.
Yeah. That would be a good one. I don't know if Tannerite would qualify. I think I would have to go figure out how to find some dynamite. I mean,
Black powder.
if you're going to blow up Hillary, the Tannerite's not good enough. We're going to have to go C4, dynamite, some kind of illegal shit I can't get a hold of.
I remember Dan, the firearm guy, had, I think it was a rabbit or something like that up at one of his older videos, blew that thing up.
So anyway, anything going on with you two guys? Y'all want to bring up, talk about?
Not me. We'll go wherever you want to go, bud.
Oh, I do want to mention one thing. The one chat that I had with Matt and David where they ganged up on me there for a little bit, which was cool. I don't mind. I put out a video today. I am going to do that. Basically, their challenge was to get some pocket constitutions, put them around the station. Those of you that don't know, I am a police officer, but they want me to put the pocket constitutions up around the station, and I'm going to tape them shut with just a thin thing of Scotch tape. I'm going to put 5 of them all around from public areas to just areas that the officers have access to, places like the bathroom. Just I want to see if they end up in the trash, if anybody actually opens it or makes any comments about having the Constitution in the station. That subject was brought up because of too many people seem to be taking an oath to uphold the Constitution and have absolutely no idea what that actually means. So I think it was a pretty cool challenge, and I'm going to do it. And technically, I already beat Matt from Resist the Tyranny, because during the little conversation, it didn't sink in until a couple days later. But he made the mention that if anybody says something to the effect of, because he's sure that somebody in the department's going to say, "What the hell are these doing here?" or make some type of a negative comment. He's like, I'll give you 2 ounces of silver. Because I was like, nobody's going to do that. There's no way. And he said, well, somebody's going to do it. So he's like, if they don't, I'll give you 2 ounces of silver. I'm like, huh. There's no way of proving this, so he's going to have to take a cop's word that I'm telling the truth. So I already beat him.
Well, if you need any more pocket constitutions, let me know. And for a fact, I'll send you a dozen of those sumbitches in a heartbeat, without question. When I get off this chat, they'll be on their way if you need any more.
Well, I ended up, I picked up 10, and they're relatively freaking cheap. I mean, I could have got freaking 50 of them for like $30, and that's probably including shipping. I was like, holy balls. So yeah, I mean, it's something good to have around, and I've picked it up and I've read through it once, and I want to read through it again, because some of the stuff is actually, it's kind of hard to understand, and it's open to your interpretation. It's not a legal interpretation of the Constitution. It is a person's interpretation until somebody gives you that legal definition, and there's a lot of things in there that's like, man, what exactly the hell does that mean? So it's kind of, I don't know, it's eye-opening.
All right, I just want to bring this up. JB Coin, which I think is new to this chat, I could be wrong on that, is going to do a drawing at 11 p.m. For, I forget, anyhow, was it an ounce of silver?
Half ounce, I think.
Half ounce of silver? Okay. A half ounce of silver. So if you hang around to 11 p.m., he's going to throw out a little contest, and hey, that's great. I'm all for it. So we'll play along. We'll run it. You let me know when you want to do it, and we'll start it off. So that's cool. Thanks, JB.
He commented Constitution should be free like a Bible.
Yeah. Well, they're only like $1 a piece on Amazon, but yeah, they should be free. But as far as buying them from a company, I understand they got to make $1. You know, make 50 cents. I mean, it only costs $1, so they're only making maybe at best 50 cents on them. So. And I've gave away many of them. That's the ones I usually give away.
Same ones I got.
Yeah. It's got the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution in it. Awesome. You know, if you don't have one, get one. If you need one, let me know. If you can't afford it, let me know. If you can't afford a pocket Constitution, get in touch with me, and I'll send you one. I mean, that's how, you know, involved I am. You know, anybody watching this chat, I'm not kidding. If you really can't afford one, email me, trprepper@gmail.com. I'll send you one. So from now on, anybody sees this video, you know, it's only $1. So if you email me, trprepper@gmail.com, I'll send you one if you can't afford one. Just don't ask me if you can really afford one. That's all I ask.
You're gonna be
Oh, go ahead.
You're gonna be SOL if this thing goes viral.
Yeah, no shit.
No, if it goes viral, I'll chip in. And yeah, I don't really think it's about the availability of purchasing them. It's like I had a hard time getting one because I wasn't going to order just one. You know, it's not something you order just one of. You do it in bulk, and then you give it out to your friends and family. So that's the way you got to kind of look at it. You know, you spend $1 plus $5 for shipping and handling. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I mean, at the most, 200 to 300 people watch this, and out of most of those 200 to 300 people, they're good people, and if I'm pretty sure they can afford $1, you know, Constitution. But seriously, if there's somebody out there that's can't afford it and they're just struggling, and on some kind of library computer just so they can get on the internet and happen to come across this, hey, I'll send you a Constitution. And I don't want to, you know, back up, but I just don't think it's I'm gonna have to worry about it. So. All right, let me do a rundown right quick. It's not something I do a lot, but let me do a rundown right quick. We got Genevieve M, J. Greg, War Prophet, Tool Monkey. Tool Monkey's actually a guy I work with, good guy. Fuzz Fork 8, JB Coin, HRM Weapons Machinist, Sandy's Passions. Julia Campbell, War Prophet, Frank L, Chris Do-It-Yourselfer, Rich 4150, J. Greg Campbell, Red October, Jack Hawkins, Rich the Tactical Plumber, AZ Patriot. See if I can find another name here. I'm sure there's some other people. Neo Survivor. I know Mouse Toes. Yeah, there's Mouse Toes was in here earlier. SKS Hugo. I think I said AZ Patriot. Drew 4.6 dual overhead cam 275. And Indiana Patriot. And I'm sure there's some others, but for the most part, that's who's it. Live for Wild. This thing, he jumped in here. So, anyway, just want to do a little quick rundown. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, not really, but you can find something. I'll bring something up. As I was showing you earlier, I'm getting ready to do some powder coating some bullets. Got some ordered and should be here tomorrow.
Well, how's those? What do you think about those powder coated bullets? I think it's a good compromise. A lead bullet, something you can coat them at, in your home, and it's doing away with the whole lubrication thing. It's skipping a step and taking it to the next level.
Well, I think it's going. They smoke more than the polymer or the plated, but I got 20 of these semi-wide cutter 45s. I took all the lube out of them, and I'm going to run them through some acetone and powder coat them too when I get it. It's just a cost thing for me, because I don't really, smoke don't bother me even with cast bullets. Indoor ranges where you really run into problem with, especially a lot of your public indoor ranges, they won't even allow you to shoot cast bullets because of it. It's all a cost factor for me. If I can get 1,000 nines for $50, this thing cost me, what was it, $6, I think, or just shy of $6. Do the work myself for $60, where 1,000 plated bullets from Berry, they're $93 1,000, and the polymers are around 80, 85. So it's all cost for me is why I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with it. I remember when when I did the 223 cast bullets for the AR-15 a couple of years ago. Those videos really took off and did good, and people were talking. I had people comment and say, hey, well, have you looked into powder coating? And at that time, I mean, it was like foreign to me. I didn't know anything about powder coating. I didn't know how to do it, what was involved, and so I just kind of dismissed it. But now, a couple of years later, it's like, oh, okay, I get it. This is something I can do at home. It don't take much investment to do it. As a matter of fact, it's stuff I already have almost. And wow, what a difference. Powder coating's here to stay. It's going to be around a while, no doubt.
Oh, yeah. It's I've been watching the heck out of videos for the last week from Fortune Cookie 45 LC, Elvis Ammo, and oh God, I've watched a bunch of them. Just getting little tips from each one of them. Yeah, it's all about saving money, really. That's basically what it is with me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, once you invest into a little bit of what it takes to powder coat, I think the powder coating, I know you don't cast your own bullets anymore, Don, but as somebody that casts their own bullets, that little bit of cost of what it takes to powder coat bullets, it's almost a non-cost. It's like, buy a $20 oven, already got a tumbler, bought an extra bowl. After you do a couple thousand rounds, boom, it's paid for again. Just like anything else with reloading. And it's almost free. It really is.
Yeah, the cast bullets is my biggest expense. Like I said, I ordered 500 the other day. It cost me $32, but normally I can get them for $25. Yeah, $50 1,000. So, what little time, and a lot of people, it's just like with reloading. They say, okay, you're saving roughly 50% on your reloads. Yeah, well, you're not counting your time in there. It's a hobby, I go play golf when I can. It's a hobby. I don't do nothing for the cost of the clubs and the balls and everything. It's a hobby, just like reloading and casting and all that stuff. You want to put a time on it, I guess. Yeah, it probably wouldn't be very cost efficient, but I'm retired, so I got plenty of time.
Yeah, you really can't count your time when it's reloading, radios, solar power. Well, I don't care what it is. You really can't count your time, because if it's something you enjoy doing, it's still free. It's still, this is something I want to do, and if this hobby makes me happy, I can't count that time as labor. I really can't.
Right.
I can only count, what I buy or what I purchase and factor all that in, and that's it.
I mean, if people want to talk about time, think about how much, typical people sit in front of a TV wasting time doing nothing. And you're sitting there, reloading bullets. I mean, it's, Christ, you could sit there and reload while you're freaking watching TV. I mean, it's just which I can't wait. We finally, oh God, I have to do a video on it. We finally got our reloading room set up. We had to move it because the place we had it had way too much moisture. There was no amount of dehumidifier that was going to help. So we had to unfortunately abandon the one location. Now we have it set up in another. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks I'll get out there and get a video of our setup, which is, it's actually pretty cool. It's instead of one person taking on all of the cost, because we're starting up, I think there's 5 of us, maybe 6, that we each bought pieces, but it's all kind of spread out evenly. So I'm kind of excited to get started on that and learn a little bit of the ropes at least.
Yeah, and I think it's probably come across in at least one of my videos when I was reloading. I had the radio kicked on, or the computer or something had music playing, and that's what I do. I kick some music on and get some tunes playing, and I enjoy reloading. I really do enjoy it. Sometimes I have to make myself get started doing it, because it's almost a chore. But once I get to doing it, I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. It's just a matter of kicking my own butt to do it, to get started. And I'll kick some tunes on and get to going, and I have a good time. I'd rather do that than watch TV.
Yeah, that's the way I am. I need to go do some reloading. I don't want to do that. Once I get in here and get started on it, it's just, I got a stereo over here. I'll put a couple CDs on there and just have at her.
I actually pictured you for more of an 8-track guy with a little bit of Johnny Cash playing in the back.
Yeah. Ain't seen 8-tracks in a long time. I got some around here somewhere. Cassettes and 8-tracks and all that stuff.
My freaking dad still has one in the garage. And
Does he?
Yeah, every now and again he'll pull them out and he'll put the 8-track in, and it still freaking works. I'm like, oh my God.
I don't have an 8-track player anymore. I got some 8-tracks around here somewhere.
Yeah, you're showing your age there, Blue. I have to admit, as a young kid, one of my hand-me-down stereos was an 8-track player. So I actually owned an 8-track. I was in kindergarten, and my dad, was an 8-track player. So I had an 8-track player.
I remember my first stereo was one of those oh my god, it was like a dual dubbing thing to where like you could put a tape in and hit play, and then it had the cassette right beside it where you could hit record. And the best thing was whenever you could hit the fast forward button or the high speed button. But I remember being a kid sitting there listening to the radio for hours, waiting for your hit list to come on, so you could hit the record button and record it off the radio, so you had yourself a little mixtape, and it was oh, those days were fun. Now you just type it in YouTube and you have it instantly.
Yeah, yes. You don't understand patience until you grew up in the '70s, where like the song you wanted to hear, you had to wait till it come back around. There wasn't no fast forward or anything, or track number 32 or whatever. No, you got to listen to the whole freaking thing and let it come back around.
Here, you want to talk your age?
Is that vinyl or slate?
No, it's vinyl. I got about, I don't know, 350 of them up back here that I got a turntable for my stereo, and I'll put one of them on every now and then. That's the Blackwood Brothers. As a lot of you know, I'm a big fan of Southern gospel. I love the old quartet stuff.
Oh, my dad had a '78 record player, and that was old even for then. But yeah, I mean, I've listened to many albums. I have a few myself right now. I don't have a record player, but I still got some of the albums.
Yeah, 78 was in the 50s, 45s, and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was 45s and 78, 33s.
33 and a third's what the LPs are.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, there is a such thing as slate discs, right? Like they were made of slate. Or am I?
I've never heard of them that I can remember.
I'm gonna have to, because my dad freaking has up in the old closet, man. There is, holy sweet Jesus, there is a ton of them, and basically, I mean, even back in the day, they ran scams, and this was probably mid to early '70s. He, in order to get a free, oh my God, the thing's huge. It's like 4 foot long, and it sets up on legs. It's probably 3 foot high. It's got 2 big speakers in it, and you open up the top, and it's got a turntable in it.
Mm-hmm.
That was free, but you had to sign up for a club to where you had to buy so many of those records.
Yeah, they used to have record clubs.
Ass on that.
Yeah, it was probably 33s. I mean, it probably wasn't 78s, because 78s were a little bit. That was more the 50s,
40s,
and maybe
50s,
early
yeah.
60s. I don't know when they stopped making 78s, but yeah, the console stereos, that was big in the '70s, no doubt.
Yeah, everybody in our family had those big console stereos.
Well, not unfortunately, but my parents still have theirs in the dining room, and it still works.
Yeah,
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Date on this record was 1966.
Like I said, hell, I grew up buying 45s and 33s albums. That's why you'll catch me still saying albums. If somebody comes out with a new music CD or whatever, I still call it an album. It just a habit, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they call them projects now. So-and-so's coming out with a new project entitled whatever. Yeah. Yeah, 45s was really big back in the 50s. All the teeny boppers and, well, I wasn't a teeny bopper back in the 50s, but I remember them real well because I was in the 50s. It was early rock and roll and all that stuff.
Well, even when I was growing up, singles, they came out on 45s. I mean, Um, hell, what was the first CD? Compact disc was actually Michael Jackson. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. The first CD that came out was Michael Jackson. I don't know the name of the album, as we still call them, but that was the first CD. So that was like 80s. So everything before that was vinyl.
You're wrong.
Really?
Well, according to Google, the first music CD ever released in the United States was Bruce Springsteen's "Born in the USA."
Okay. Well, like
And
I
that was in
said,
'82, and it didn't finish until '84.
all right. Well, like I said, that's just the first one I remember being a big deal. So I stand corrected, and hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that. I never said I knew everything.
And that's what sucks about this whole Google thing. You can be, I mean, not in this case. I mean, you were just going by what your recollection was, but somebody could be out there spouting off all these different types of facts and shit, and you look it up, and in like a millisecond, you're like, no, you're completely wrong, and everything you just said is. There's no such thing as bullshitting anymore.
I remember when Prince 1999 came out. It was a double album. And the girls were like going, hoo-ha over it or whatever, because it opened up and there it was, this, thing of Prince, and half his ass was hanging out, and they were all just all gaga over it, and it was such a big thing, because it was still albums, vinyl LPs when I was in high school. And like I said, the CDs were just starting to come out then, but we were all still spinning cassettes and LPs when I was in high school.
I'm so freaking poor. My last car before the car that I have now still had a freaking tape deck. You had to put a tape in it. Oh, cops make good money. Yeah, no, we don't.
Yeah, Chris says MTV changed everything. Maybe even Blue, even though you're a little younger than us. You probably remember when MTV actually still showed videos.
Oh, yeah. MTV and VH1, they both were nothing but videos, and now it's nothing but reality shows and bullshit. I don't know. It's definitely not music television anymore.
Yep, I remember when it was born. My dad sold the big satellite dishes, the big 8 to 10 foot, 12 foot satellite dishes. And that was my introduction to MTV in the 80s, was watching it on that when they actually showed videos.
Mm-hmm.
Back when Madonna started, and I don't even want to go down that route, but yeah, I remember when I was there when MTV started. I was watching that shit.
I never did.
Well, you might have been a few years above us, Don. Sorry.
Yeah, a few years. I remember when it come out, but I never watched any of that crap.
Well, when it first started, it was yeah, I can't do that. But when it first started, I remember when it first started, because like I said, my dad sold satellite dishes. I was in high school. I was telling somebody that, I was telling Rob, Pop's Quest. My dad was selling these satellite dishes, and being the little bit of a nerd that I am and a technical guy, I looked into it and was researching it. I knew more about the damn satellite things than my dad did. He was selling them. So when the customers come in and he was out installing or whatever he was doing, I was like the salesman. I was like 14 years old. I knew everything there was to know about these damn things, and I'm going through all the motions and telling them everything they needed to know about it, and because I was into it. I mean, it was cool. To me, I was so interested in it. It was just another challenge. It was a challenge, and I guess, like I said, the nerd in me just wanted to know everything there was to know about it. So I was a wealth of information about them, and then they started scrambling it, and the business failed.
It's about like computers. Younger kids now, they know more computers than most adults do.
Hmm. Exactly. That's exactly what it was. Yeah. But I was still riding my bicycle and motorcycles with my buddies and all that. I mean, I was still outside. I wasn't. We, my dad sold those satellites, but we didn't have one at home. The only time I saw what was going on was when I was at his work. He never installed one at the house because
Wow.
he just didn't see the
Hey,
need for it.
TR, I've already cheated, but do you have any idea what the first video on MTV ever was?
Radio killed the. Radio killed the. Video killed the radio, or something
Yep.
like that.
Video killed the radio star.
Yeah.
12:01 a.m. on August 1st, 1981.
I would have been in seventh grade.
I was 2.
See there?
I was older than both of you put together.
Yeah, video killed the radio star. That's what it was.
I had kids older than you, Blue.
I don't know if that makes you feel better or worse, but Don, for being on here.
Don't bother me. Age is just a number. And I feel them every day.
And I've said it before. That's what's awesome about these chats is, I mean, I don't know how old Don is, but he's definitely the senior of the group. And then you have me the whole way down at 37. And we have people that pop up in the chat room, you know, that are 20, 21, 18, maybe sometimes, you know, a little younger. I mean, tonight's kind of a lighthearted chat. We're just kind of, you know, back and forth with some off topics. But, you know, people listen to it. And, you know, every generation, you know, from Dawn to TR down to me and who, you know, the younger people, we're teaching people stuff. I mean, maybe not stuff they'll ever need to know about, but now they know that what the first music video was.
I can only say one thing about my age. I got a lot more days behind me than I got ahead of me.
Well, I could probably say that too, Don.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm 48, going on 49, so I'm pretty sure I got more years behind me than I got in front of me.
Well, let's put it this way. If I double my age, I'd be 132, okay? So that gives you an idea how old I am.
Yeah, who wants to live that long?
That's
you know?
right. You know, good God. That's the way this old world is. Good grief.
Yeah, I see people putting their age in the chat, and I've seen this before. The majority of the people that tune in this chat are around my age, in their mid to upper 40s. That seems to be the culmination of the people that are, you know, paying attention, getting awake, and stuff like that. And I'm sorry for not really putting out great information, you know, as far as shit hit the fan, guns, and political stuff like that. To be honest, I think enough of us really dig into that enough that we get enough of that, and sometimes, to be honest with you, doing these chats is a little bit of a break, just so we can cut up and have a good time. And sometimes we go serious, and sometimes we just goof off and talk about CDs and LPs and the past, you know. So hopefully everybody's cool with that, and that's it. That's just what we do, you know. We'll take it wherever it goes.
But if you guys think about it, I mean, since we've kind of talked about time, do you guys remember when you were like in elementary, like the later years of elementary school, even through high school, how long an 8 or 9 hour school day took? And then once you get out of school and you get a little bit freaking older, a whole flipping day is gone in half a goddamn second. I mean, is it because my theory on this is because, you know, whenever you're young, you haven't lived that long. You know, if you're 5 years old, you know, that's, I'm not going to be able to do the math in my head. I'm not that good at it, but you know, that's only like 1,500 and some odd days that you've been alive. So every hour seems to take forever, but once you increase in age, you know, you've been around on the earth long enough that now an hour or a whole day seems to take no time at all. I mean, it's Don blinks and he's like, "Oh shit."
No, I just thinking about it. I can't remember elementary school. But I know I couldn't wait till I got 21, because back then it was 21. You had to be 21 to vote, and of course, buy alcohol and all that stuff. I couldn't wait. That first election, well, 45 years later, it just boom. You know, here I am from there to here.
Who was the first president that you ever voted for?
George McGovern. He was the Democratic nominee. I was a faithful Union man. I said, well, they endorse him, so I'm going to vote for him. He was against Nixon won the election. And the second one was Jimmy Carter, because the Union nominated him. Hey, I'm a good Union man. They're nominated. That's the last time I voted Democrat. I finally figured out they don't know what the crap they're talking about either.
Well, don't feel bad, because the first, I'm almost certain the first president that the presidential election I was able to vote for was George Bush Sr. And he sent and then I joined the Navy after that, and he sent me into the fucking desert. So I kind of regretted my decision to vote Republican. Because I thought I was doing the right thing, and next thing I know, bombs are going off behind me. What the hell's going on? Who should I vote for?
I'll never forget. I went to a Union meeting one time and had a Reagan pin on my big old Reagan pin on my lapel. The rep says, "What are you doing with that on?" I said, "That's who I'm voting for." Well, you know, the Union endorsed Jimmy Carter. Or not? Yeah, was it Jimmy Carter? Yeah. I said, well, I'm not voting for Jimmy Carter again. I done voted for him once, and that's enough. And like I said, I haven't looked back since.
Yeah, and I voted for George Bush Jr. the first time, but I didn't the second time. I can't remember if I voted for whoever was running against Clinton the second time. I know the first time I didn't.
Bob Dole.
I really don't remember.
I think it was Bob Dole.
Yeah, it could have been Bob Dole. The first time that George Bush Jr. ran, I voted for him. The second time, I didn't. And I hadn't, since Jr. run the first time, I have not voted Democrat or Republican as far as president since. This election, I will. And I've said that before, and I'm not ashamed of it, but I know the last thing we need in this country is Hillary Clinton as president. So I don't give a damn if it's Bozo the Clown, Donald Trump, Curious George. I don't give a shit who it is. Whoever's running on the Republican ticket against Hillary, I'm voting for. Period. and it'll be the first time I vote Republican in a decade, or more than a decade. That's just the way I feel about it.
Oh, I'm not. And we've talked about it before. I'm not a big Trump fan, but I got to vote for him because there ain't no way in the world I could vote for Hillary. No way, no. And just because of the Supreme Court nomination, basically. Not that she's going to be any good with anything, but that scares me more than anything because you're looking, her term might last 8 years, but that Supreme Court could last for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
And that would be the death of America.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm definitely voting Hillary Clinton because I want to see the first female president, in my lifetime. So that's the only reason. No other reason.
All right. Where's the block button?
Did you invite this guy?
I got the block button. He's about to be booted out.
Just say no.
I have heard that from so many of my freaking relatives, and it sickens me. And it's like, do you not realize what she has done and what she will continue to do if elected president? Oh, yeah, I'm not really into politics, but, I would really like, I'm like, Jesus Christ. It should be legal to just, haul up and wrap somebody right in the fucking head.
Yeah. Yeah, when they say it's because first woman, it's just the same thing with Obama back the first time. A lot of people voted for him because he's first black. I'm not saying we're not ready for a first woman president, just not this one.
No.
Or the other clown out of Massachusetts, what's her name? Pocahontas, Trump calls her. Elizabeth Warren. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a nut. She's worse than Hillary.
Yeah, it ain't got nothing about. It ain't got a damn thing to do about her being a woman. To be honest with you, if Haley, the governor of South Carolina, if she ran, I would vote for her. I like Haley. I ain't saying she's perfect, but she's somewhat anti-establishment. She stands her ground. She's against the good old boys. They hate her. They ran, just scandalous campaigns against her. But it's because she wasn't part of the system. She's outside the box. And she got elected and got reelected. And so it ain't got a damn thing to do with a woman. Just get that clear.
So since we're talking about Clinton, what's I've kind of dropped out of the Bernie Sanders. What are his followers doing? What's the consensus now for the Bernie Sanders voters now that this whole he didn't have a snowball's chance in hell from the very beginning because it was the Democratic Party basically already ganged up against him and went for Hillary. I mean, is it leaning one way or the other?
I heard several of them's going either for Johnson or the Green Party. What's that woman running over there?
I don't know the name, but yeah, Green Party. I think it's about a 50-50 split. I think half of the Bernie Sanders people are voting other than Hillary, whether it's Green Party, Libertarian, or Trump. I mean, some of them actually is going for Trump. But the point is, about 50% of them are not going to vote for Hillary, which is a good thing for us.
Well, it was a good thing for us when that BS come out at the Democratic convention about the email stuff scandal.
How can anybody support? I mean, and I know we're three mostly logical thinking people here, but how can anybody support a lying bitch that? I mean, God, how many people she got killed? And these top secret emails that were on my private server. Well, yeah, it was wrong, but I technically didn't know it was wrong, so therefore I'm not charged. I mean, how the hell can anybody not see the writing on the wall of what she's going to do once she hits the White House? I mean, that is your absolute career politician, your family politician, and I don't want to say they, but she has gotten away with so much shit just in this last how many years? 2 years?
Well, Friday, and it's been all over the news over the weekend that I've noticed that Trump's really got onto it, because if any of you seen the interview with Chris Wallace last Sunday on Fox News, he had an interview with her and asked her about the emails. You know, that Comey said that she didn't tell the truth. She said, well, that's not true. And she's carrying the lie right on through, and she's carried it through all week. And Friday, she finally says, well, I short-circuited. And I'll explain that to you. And Trump's been all over it. Do you want somebody that's mine? She short-circuited. Can't remember what she said, this and that. And that's been the talk all weekend on that, her short-circuiting.
But it's just and how bad? I mean, seriously, we have to sit here and think, how bad has America gotten to where she still has so many of these supporters? How the hell? I mean, I realize brainwashing. I'm not talking brainwashing where we have to put on our little tinfoil hats, but God, are people in this country literally that dumb? And I know the answer to that, so nobody actually has to answer that. But how? How in the hell? Free stuff. That's how. She's going to keep me on my welfare. She's not going to do, you know, I hate saying it, but that's what the Democratic Party seems to be, and that's how they get their votes is I don't want to say they attack any class of citizen, but they're always talking about, you know, we'll get you this free stuff, we'll keep you on this free assistance, we'll keep you so that you have electricity, when we'll give you. So basically they're buying votes. Am I wrong?
That's it, exactly. You know, and that's one of Bernie's big things is free education, free college. I mean, there's nothing free. Somebody's got to be paying this bill. They think the rich folks are going to pay it all, but after a while you run out of other people's money, you know?
Come on, TR, I know you're boiling. Let's go. Let it loose.
No, yeah, exactly. Hell, it's already been. I've seen some news reports that Hillary wants to raise taxes $1.3 trillion,
Yeah.
and it's not going to be on the rich people. It's going to be on the middle class. And the middle class is already dissolving at a rapid rate. We're tremendously going into poverty and rich people, and the poverty and the middle class are getting closer and closer together. They're going faster down that line. I don't care what kind of government you have, you'll always have your rich people and your poor people. That's just a given. That's just the way it is. I don't care if it's communism, fascism, whatever it is. You'll have your rich and your poor. But the where we're headed, the middle class is being annihilated. We're being eradicated. I might be considered middle class right now, but it's getting to the point where I'm lower middle class and getting toward. Even though I make decent money, I really can't afford to go buy a damn new car, new house, or whatever. I can afford to maintain what I got, and so I kind of consider myself upper poverty or lower middle class. I don't know where the hell I'm at, and I make decent money for the South.
And how bad, TR, does it piss you off? Because this just happened to me not this pay period, but the pay period before. I worked my ass off to get overtime because, you know, funds get low. You know, I have a family of 5, and it's by choice that with our family of 5 I work, she doesn't, because I don't want my kids going into some type of a daycare or a babysitter, you know, that type of thing. I don't trust people enough to send my kids out to strangers, even though they've got clearances and they've got this and that. I don't trust that. So it's our own. That's why we do what we do. However, funds were getting low. I had a fucking hot water tank explode. I had this happen. I had this happen. You know, that was $1,000 within a couple weeks. That boom, wasn't expecting it. So I worked my ass off to get overtime, and let's just say, I'm just going to throw the numbers out. With all the overtime I had in 2 weeks, my net pay, well, I always get this screwed up, net versus gross, but whatever I actually made, let's just say it was $2,500. I took home $1,300. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Where the shit? You know, it was a couple hundred extra dollars in my pocket to help pay for those expenses, but I worked my ass off to give it to fucking somebody else. And I don't mean to swear, I hate doing that, but I get so pissed. And it's, you know, and that's the dying middle class, because literally I could go off on some type of disability because I've got, because of my career, and I mean, TR could probably do the same thing because of his veteran status. Plus, I mean, I'm sure he's seen things just through regular life that has caused him grief. You know, we could become flippant alcoholics, drop off of, and that would be my medical, not clearance, but my medical diagnosis is, you know, you weren't able to handle this, so you became an alcoholic, or you became a drug user, and it almost makes more sense for me to get on welfare and get on assistance, get my house paid for, get all this other shit paid for, but it's me. I can't do it. There is no fucking way I can't go into work every day and think that I contribute to, you know, the air quotes, a greater good. And it's, God, that pisses me off whenever I work my ass off and $1,000 of my dollars extra that I made is gone. How do we fix that?
Well, we need to do away with the IRS. Period. I know a lot of people might not agree with that, don't understand that, but we need to do away with the IRS. Period. I know it's not going to happen. Even if the economy collapses, they still won't do away with the IRS. But the answer is to do away with the IRS. We shouldn't be paying income taxes on our income, period. We didn't 100 years ago, so why are we doing it now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now they tax you to work. The right to work tax. What the I'm not going to say it. I almost dropped the F-bomb again, but seriously, you're going to tax me because I'm working? No, you don't have the right to tax me because I'm out doing something. That is, God, that pisses me off. I realize that I have to pay taxes. I have to pay taxes to make sure that the government can, and I'm going to say, protect me from, you know, other countries. I understand that my tax dollars go to fund a war, but that war better be damn well deserved and needed. I understand that my taxes go to pave the roads that I drive on, to do, I understand that. But God damn it, don't tax me to support somebody that refuses to work. Not that they can't work. I don't mind helping people out. I don't mind that at all. What I mind is these freaking people that make it, and it's families, it's entire families that become career welfare recipients, and that's all they know, and it's perfectly fine. God, that burns me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind paying my fair share, but I'm just saying that we didn't have the income tax 100 years ago, or maybe a little bit over 100 years ago. And we built roads, we built the White House, we built the Capitol building without an income tax. It's not, you know, it's not unfathomable for these things to be paid for without an income tax. Now, a state could do a tax, you know, to pay for roads and stuff like that, and I'm actually okay with it. But as far as federal, really it's unconstitutional for them to tax my income. And you can say, fuck on my chat, Blue. It's okay.
I think the income tax was originally set up basically for the military, wasn't it? If I remember right.
It was actually set up, and as the law is still written, It is a voluntary tax. Technically, income tax is still voluntary, but of course, if you fight the government, they'll clamp down on you and tell you you're wrong, and how the 16th Amendment made it legal and all that stuff. But I mean, that's another chat in itself. But with the 16th Amendment, we were the first country in the world, in history, that voted, not that me and you voted, but that voted to do a voluntary tax that was unlimited on what the government could tax us on our income. We were the first country in the world to vote that in, and ever in history. And we didn't put a limit on it. Like I said, me and you didn't vote on it, but I'm just saying that's what happened. Our Congress put in the 16th Amendment, and they didn't put a limit on it. The freest country in the world, supposedly, and we enacted a tax that we could actually, they could raise it 100%, and it would be legal. So the 16th Amendment really needs to be revoked. Okay, I blew everybody's mind.
No, you're. Yeah. I'm reading the side chat because I saw a couple comments that were, something, and I'm not going to call anybody out, but some people in the side comments, they were like, hey, I got disabled at this point because of this, and I'm not talking about the people that are legitimately disabled. I have absolutely no problem. My issue is, and this might get me in trouble with some of the side chat, but why the hell are we funding this heroin epidemic where we have to open all these clinics and we have to do all this shit? You know what? You want to fucking stick a needle in your arm? Do it. It's not that I'm calloused. It's not that I'm cold-hearted, but we all have choices, and sometimes people make stupid choices, and then they have to pay the outcome. But technically, they don't have to pay the outcome. It's everybody else. I would rather give the money that I'm paying for welfare or whatever the different taxes are for that type of stuff. I would rather see it not go to those type of programs and give it to people that, they whatever their job was. I don't care if you were a mailman and you slipped on the ice and you fractured your back and you can't work anymore, or if you were a laborer and lost a hand so you can't do that anymore. I would rather that money go to those people that legitimately can't work because of an injury than to this other shit. That's just the way I am. And it's not that I'm callous, that's just the way I think.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has Social Security, and this seems to always come up where people get a little bit butthurt when we're talking about entitlements. And there is no such thing as an entitlement. Well, there is, but we don't believe in them. But Social Security, Medicaid, disability, those are not freaking entitlements. You paid into them. You deserve them. What we're talking about is your, just flat out welfare, food stamps. And you may be qualified for food stamps with a disability. And that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. We're a rich country. I ain't got a problem with it. But some people think that, hey, a retired Army guy or Navy, whoever, military, he gets a retirement. That's not a fucking entitlement. That's his retirement. He earned that. She earned that. Whatever. Like I said, disability, Medicaid, you paid into it. You earned that. That is not a freaking entitlement. That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about somebody that didn't contribute any fucking thing and then they get put up for the rest of their life. That's the entitlement that we are pissed off about, or at least me. So just make sure everybody's okay with that, understands what we're talking about. Or me, anyway.
No, you're exactly right. And then the influx of the immigrants that we got coming into this country, who's taking care of them? Yeah.
Me, evidently.
Yeah, we are. That's what irritates me more than anything.
And it's all out there, everybody has always said, no immigrants until we can take care of our own. We haven't taken care of our own that actually need taken care of for how many years, and now we're having to pay for all this other stuff. And then these people, I realize that the United States was built on immigrants. That's what we are. But how in the hell can a certain sect of people come into the United States and all of a sudden, oh, well, we don't agree with having the flags in the schools. We don't agree with the Pledge of Allegiance. We don't agree with this. But yet at noon or whatever time that they pray, or whatever religion, I'm not that's just the one that came to mind. It's we have to make sure that happens. But yet our fabric of a nation from years ago are being desecrated. I see you have the I always call it the Dukes of Hazzard flag back there in the back, the rebel flag or something like that. That's now a racist flag to have up. And now with TR, and I've got the flags all, you can't see them, they're in front of me. TR has the Gadsden flag. That's now a racist or a hate flag. Bullshit. And it's part of our history. Every bit of it's part of our history. And if you don't like it, damn it, I'm sorry. If you don't like it, get out. Don't come here if you don't like it. How many thousands, hundreds of thousands of people died for what I call the rebel flag. We might not have agreed with the cause, but they died. I mean, that's part of our history, which made us a nation. The Gadsden flag, that is not a racist flag. That is a flag against, technically, it's against the government. It's not against a sect. It's basically saying, you want to tread on the Constitution and come and take my stuff that the Constitution entitles us to, which that is an entitlement. I will say the Constitution, everything in there is an entitlement. It's not racist toward any one person. I mean, God, people need to quit being so goddamn butthurt, like TR, the butthurt. I like that.
Well, that's the very thing that's got Trump really basically is fighting all that crap. He's definitely going against all this PC bull crap. And as far as the rebel flag back there, Confederate flag, Virginia flag, whatever you want to call it back there. The only reason why I put it up was when South Carolina took their flag off the pole. I thought, I'm not racist. It don't mean nothing like that to me. I'm putting it up. So that's why it's back there.
I'm not racist in any one. I don't give a shit. Everybody should love. I mean, you don't have to love each other, but you know what I mean? I don't know how to exactly say this, but show respect toward each other, and that's all it is. That flag is nothing. There are individuals that chose to make that flag part of their racist group or their racist cause. That's a group. That is not us as individuals. I could have every flag up, and it doesn't matter. It's just that it's what I believe in. It's not that I'm racist. It's
Look at these rallies, Blue. The red, white, and blue, our national flag. That offends a lot of people in our country. That's the sad part. Am I echoing or?
No, you're good.
I keep hearing an echo somewhere. Yeah, it just irritates me to see them burning it and stomping on it and all that stuff at these rallies. I'm thinking that's just totally un-American to me.
Oh, absolutely. And if you're a group of people coming in and you're burning that flag, and this is the country you want to come into, and you're showing disrespect by burning that flag, you don't deserve to be here. Our nation was built on that flag. Many men have died, and it's God. All right, I'm gonna mute myself for a while and go out the garage door for a minute.
I agree with you
I just
100%.
want to say, I know they made it legal to burn the American flag, but I think it should be a understanding when you burn the American flag that you get your ass beat. It's your legal right to burn the flag, but a ass whooping should be ensued afterwards. That's just the way I feel about it.
And I'm sure if you got,
And don't cry when it happens.
and I'm sure if you did something like that in a group of veterans, I'm sure that's exactly what would happen. Somebody had
Yeah, I mean, I grew up. It was actually illegal to burn a flag, and then it got turned. And I know you Don, it's the same thing. It was illegal to burn the flag, and within the last, I don't know, decade or two, somehow they made it legal. They claimed it was a First Amendment right. But like I said, okay, fine, you can burn the flag, but just don't cry when I come up and stomp your ass into the concrete for burning that flag. You know.
Either way, if you're an American citizen or you're somebody that's trying to become an American citizen, the only way that you're allowed to burn that flag is if you wrap yourself in it first. Then at least you died for a cause.
Yeah, I remember at one of the, well, it was Republican convention. There was a woman out there trying to burn the American flag, and the cops went in there and took it away from her and stomped it out.
And I guarantee those cops are probably going to get suspended.
Oh yeah,
guarantee it. They're gonna lose pay. They're gonna do something.
Yeah, I've actually seen that where cops and other people have ripped. They went ahead and let them set the flags on fire. Maybe not, on purpose, but they let them set. And like I said, I've seen several stories where even policemen, they seen the flag was on fire. They ripped the flags away from them, put them out, confiscated the flags so that they could properly dispose of them. They, didn't really charge the people with anything, but they took the flags away from them, half burnt, whatever they was. And whether anything happened to them or not, I don't know. But in my eyes, they did the right thing. And the people that were burning it, they're just lucky they didn't get the shit beat out of them. Sorry, I hate to be so blatant, but that's just. I served under that fucking flag. I put my life on the line for that flag. It wasn't for the government; it was for my country. So when you disgrace it, you piss me off, and that's just the way it is.
Well, I never served or anything, but I got the utmost respect for the military and our armed forces. My dad was a military man, and he brought me up always to respect the military.
See, and here's the other thing. With these flag burnings, there's always I don't want to say a law that circumvents other laws. However, if you're a dumbass that's willing to burn a flag in the middle of a fucking group, you're putting that group in danger. So therefore, you're risking a catastrophe. So therefore, I'm going to act, and I'm going to put that flag out, and I will put your ass in jail because you could have burnt somebody by doing that. Is that wrong? I mean, that's the way I look at it. You could have hurt those other demonstrators that were standing by your cause because you burn a flag, and you could have hurt somebody. So therefore, that flag is now confiscated. I will put it out, and hopefully, I got a bunch of my other guys there that will come up and we'll do the best flag folding that you could do after something, an event like that. And your ass is going to jail because you just risked everybody in your vicinity.
Well, that's a little loophole that is in the laws because even to burn a brush fire or whatever, you have to, like call the fire department and say, hey, I'm going to do this. If you're going to burn a flag in front of a public building, you have to have a permit. So there is loopholes to get these people. You just have to exploit them.
I'll tell you, the best protest that I ever saw was, I don't remember the college, but some college kid was going to do a burning flag demonstration for whatever reason, and like hundreds of people showed up, and they were willing to kick the shit out of this kid right in front of the cops, and the cops on horseback, they had to surround him and get him out of there, and he didn't get to burn the flag, and that's what needs to happen. You know, I mean, people need to, if you know about it and you know it's coming up, show up in force, you know. Take care of it. It's our flag, it's our country. We need to take care of it.
I know I work part-time. Ed TR knows where it's at. I'm not going to mention the name of it. And I'm always, somebody's a veteran, I always shake their hand if I can. If I'm inside where I can't shake their hand, I always tell them through the speaker, thank you for your service. And they always says, my pleasure. That's exactly the words they would say, my pleasure.
You know, the other day I was driving down the frickin' road, and we have a, you know, pretty much anywhere up north has a Sheetz, one of those little gas station things, and there was a horde of motorcycles in this Sheetz. I mean, they must have been doing a run or a ride or something, and I wasn't, you know, I didn't pay attention. You look over to make sure nobody's fighting in the parking lot as you're going by at 45 miles an hour, so it's kind of like, whoa. And I just happened to pick up on the tail end as I went by. There were a couple of the guys that were on their bikes and gals, and as I go by, they all quickly, I mean, they all dismounted, and they freaking saluted me as I went by. And as I'm going by, I'm like, what the hell was that? And I'm like, and I was already by before I had a chance to react or, you know, flick the lights as a show of respect or anything. So I had to go maybe a half mile down the road before I could get into a turnaround to go back, because I wanted to go back and thank these guys, and, you know, just to make sure that they knew that I saw what they had done, and they were gone. And I felt like shit. I was like, man, these guys probably just thought I snubbed them, or, you know, that's what we need to be.
Well, I'm glad you turned around and went back.
But they were gone. That sucked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were. By the time I got back, they all mounted back up and took off the other way. And
well, I think a lot of military people, and maybe not even military people. I seen he's a really small channel. I can't remember. I think it's Zeus is the name of the channel. Guy's got like 180 subs or something like that. But he made a video, and he called it Thin Blue Line. And I know he didn't really start it, but he, I guess, got caught up in it or whatever. And these people were putting, I guess it was the blue masking tape you get at, you know, Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever when you're painting your house, some shit like that, you know, put on the windows and stuff. And these people were putting a blue tape line on their window, their back window. And he showed a lot of shots of people doing that. And like I said, he's a small channel, but anyhow, he named it a Thin Blue Line. I don't know if the guy's a veteran. I don't know if he was, if he has people that he knows in the police force or anything. But the fact that he made a video respecting police officers and threw that out there, I thought that was really cool. And I think ex-military or military that's in service now, I think they respect police because it's kind of the same thing. It's not the same thing, but it's close to the same thing, and we respect that that commitment. You know, you do what you got to do. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm just saying that I think police and military are pretty close to the same goals, and they want to protect people. That's the only reason you join it. You don't join it like, hey, I can make good money doing this. No, that's not why you join it. You join it because you have some kind of goal in mind to help people and protect people. Or at least in my mind, that's what I think it goes.
Yeah, that's what the majority. But it's just like every other career. Yeah, we do have dumbasses, And I'm willing to admit that there are dumbasses that get into this for the wrong reason, and we need to. And I know I beat this bandwagon often. Stop circling the wagons around the dumbasses and throw them out. I mean, literally throw them out to the quote-unquote wolves if that's what needs to happen, because one dumbass in your department makes everybody look bad no matter what. So yeah, that's, I don't know, twice now within the last 2 weeks. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I was watching a stop sign. This was probably 2 weeks ago now. Sitting there watching the stop sign, and this car pulls up right directly beside me. And instantly, you kind of get that spidey sense, like, oh shit, what the hell are these people pulling up beside me for? But there were some kids in the back, and this, so I didn't think much of it. I thought maybe they were lost looking for where they were going. The two kids bounce out of the back of the car, come around the front of mine, and they come up, and I'm like, hey guys, what's going on? And the little girl's like, no, we just wanted to say thank you. And they hand me a vanilla milkshake, from which the cups, everybody in my area knows the cup that it comes in, you know, what ice cream shop it comes from. And she handed me a vanilla milkshake, and her brother or her, I can't remember which one said it, but they were like, you know, we just wanted to let you know that we appreciate this family just pulled up, and it literally, it took forever to sink in of what just happened. I'm sitting there with this milkshake, and you know, I thanked them and did all that other stuff, and they pulled away, and I actually sat there for a couple minutes just reflecting, like, man, that's awesome. You know, this family did this, and you know, they're getting their kids involved and all that other stuff, and that's what it should be about. And you know, just like 3 or 4 days ago, I was at that same Sheetz where those motorcycle guys were all lined up at, and I went in and, you know, I got my healthy Sheetz meal, because that's all that we can get when we're working. But they no, hold on a minute, I gotta remove a post. There we go. But anyway, oh yeah, I ordered my food, and I'm standing there, and you know, I go up and I pay for it, and we don't get discounts. We turn them down, that type of stuff. And I go up and I go to pay for it, and the guy's like, that's been taken care of. I'm like, what? And he's like, the person that just walked out just took care of that. I'm like, what? That makes me feel good. That makes me feel like, you know, there's still people out there that, you know, like us, support us, and all this other stuff, but it's it makes me really, really feel good. And I put a post on Facebook. You know, it's not about the citizens walking behind us or in front of us. We all have to walk together. If we're going to clean up and get things back into a status quo, you know, we all have to stand together and do it. So, I mean, it was really awesome to see that.
I've been hearing quite a bit about people doing that for the police officers. I think that's a great thing. Arizona Patriot, hashtag white milkshakes matter.
Yes, they do. But to be politically correct, that was a vanilla milkshake that mattered.
Congrats to those folks.
I think I told Blue about this one time. I don't do it a lot, but some of the police officers I've been around, say at a sandwich shop or whatever, at lunchtime, whatever, I've actually done this. I'm not saying that anybody else should do this. I'm just saying this is something I've done. I'll start talking about the pistol they have on their side. And I've actually, a couple of times, I've only had one time the guy kind of shunned me off. And I was like, okay, whatever, you know, whatever. But the other couple of times I've done it, man, it went into a freaking half-hour conversation how either he liked the gun. Actually, both times they were pissed off at what kind of gun that their you know, station issued them, and it turned into a long conversation on handguns, and it's kind of like they let their guard down and they just had a conversation with him. And like I said, I'm not saying everybody should do that. I was just saying that me personally, I've done that a couple of times, and not out of trying to go out of my way to carry on the conversation, but at the same time, maybe I did a little bit. But I was just like, "Hey, what are you carrying?" And boom, 30-minute conversation took place. You know, I'm not saying that was good or bad. Where I live, it wasn't that big a deal.
Mhm.
Well, one of them, it was they were carrying the 45 GAP. Is it GAP? The Glock?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a shorter 45 ACP.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was a 45-minute conversation. He was so pissed off about them picking that damn thing, and it just went on and on and on. We were sitting over there. I already had my sandwich, and he was just blah 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 blah. I don't know why the hell they took this, and they had to change my damn personal handgun. Yeah, I mean it just went on and on and on and on and on. It turned into a bitch session, but I mean not in a bad way. It was just he opened up and he just had a conversation about it because as soon as he figured out I knew what he was talking about and he knew what he was talking about, he just went off. He was pissed.
And that's good. I mean, that's good that people. It's always okay to come up to a cop and just bullshit and talk. But I've definitely seen a difference between even me going into a bigger city in my area and trying to engage a big city cop versus your town cops or your sheriffs. There's a huge damn difference between the response that you get back and forth. I mean, and that's I don't know. I wish there'd almost be a study done, big town or big city cops versus small town, rural, or sheriffs. I mean, I'll stop and talk to anybody, but sometimes you do get that asshole, and even me being in law enforcement, it's like, hey, how are you? I'm a lieutenant here at this place, and it's in this location. They could give two shits less, and it's like, you know what? Fuck you. I almost want to look at them and say, fuck you.
Yeah, like I said, hey, it depends on your situation, where you're at. Um, the guys that try to have a conversation with, I kind of, to be honest, not that I'm a analyst, psychoanalyst, or anything like that, I could kind of tell the few people that I did have those conversations with, I could kind of tell they were open to a conversation. They had that friendly look or whatever it was. The guy that's got that asshole look that's looking down on everybody, I avoid him like everybody else. But the ones that were kind of friendly and smiling, that's the ones I had a conversation with. So it wasn't that hard to do. I'm trying to read the comments there. I've heard good and bad about Bursa, BC, but I've heard more good than bad. So I'll leave it at that. HRM, I could sell a fucking ice cube to a Eskimo. But I'm not a salesman. JB Coin wanted to do a contest at 11. We're a couple of minutes past that. If you still want to do that, you want to do a giveaway.
Mouse Toes won it. Mouse Toes won it, TR.
What's that?
Mouse Toes won it.
Oh, Mouse Toes already won it? Okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
And plus I think he give a silver quarter to, oh crap, where was it at? Silver quoted a hidden numismatis, if they're still present.
I don't know how to say it.
However you
Hidden.
pronounce
Just
that.
say hidden.
And I think he's got another one going here.
All right. Well, cool. Congratulations, Mousestoes. Mousestoes is a great channel. Anybody that's not subscribed to Mousestoes, make sure and sub her up because she's awesome. I've been in some chats with her. I've watched many of her videos. She's in South Carolina, as me. She's down on the coast. But awesome lady. If you don't know her, get to know her.
Yeah, she was on my prepping chat here I don't know, probably 3 or 4 months ago. I got to get her back on there, too, for part 2.
Yep.
I think you was on there that night, too, wasn't you?
Yeah, it was.
Well, let's not forget the JB Coin. Anybody that's willing to come into a chat, and I don't remember that name. I mean, he may have been here, or her may have been here a couple different times, but you know, anybody that's willing to come into this chat and show graciousness like that, jump over and give him a sub and check out what he's got going on.
Yeah, I just did.
Yeah, I seen he had 7 videos, so it's not like he's nobody. He's making videos. He or she, like you said, I hadn't seen any of them. I just seen that he had 7 videos, so I subbed up. So yeah, thank you, JB Coin. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Jay Greg, why is it so hard to pronounce Hidden's last name? I don't know. I can't. I sure. Num is mestis. Num is my tis.
I'm from the South, Greg. That's all I can do to say Greg.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of them words don't go good with Southern boys, I tell you. Me one of them. Even though I live in Michigan.
Well, I'm sorry I missed the whole damn giveaway there. It happened and was done and over with when I started talking about it. But like I said, congratulations, Mousestoes, and thank you, JB Coin. I do appreciate that. That was awesome of you.
That's the thing about these chats, which I've noticed, which I've kind of thought, like, whenever I'm sitting in the comments, it's like, what the hell? Are these guys not even seeing what I'm typing because it's, like, to do with the topic and everything else? But once you get into a discussion, because I've got a split screen to where I can see the comments, plus I'm looking at TR or Dawn, you kind of forget about the comments, even though you're just looking at a screen with somebody's face on it. That's what you're focusing on, just because you're talking to them, and it's nothing against anybody in the chat, but it is really hard to break your gaze looking at somebody just to look over and read the comments. That's tough.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot to keep up with, and I've been on these chats for several years now, and I do my best to keep up with the comments because there's many chats that I'm listed in the comment section, and I appreciate it when somebody mentions my name, and that's why we try to make sure we are paying attention. Maybe not our utmost attention to the side chat, but we are trying to pay attention to it. And I think we do a good job of keeping up with what's going on the outside. Because we do comment back and forth, and we do bring up the subjects that they bring up, and but it is tough. It is tough to carry on the conversation. We got an internal chat going on where we're saying, hey, let's talk about this, let's talk about that, that nobody else can see. And I mean, we're just trying to think of subjects to talk about, and then plus pay attention to the outside chat. So it's a job, but I enjoy it, and that's why I'm still here. I've been doing these chats, like I said, for 3 or 4 years now.
Well, and here's the thing, TR. I mean, and I think we've all talked about it. we could go out to a bar and maybe meet up with one person that's like-minded, and maybe, and I stress maybe, have a conversation with that person. But whenever you get into one of these chats where you know everybody's like-minded and most of the people in the comments are like-minded, I would much rather sit here and drink a beer with you guys and watch what's going on in the side chat and, you know, go back and forth than go to a bar any day of the week.
Who was it? Hunts for Food 67. I get out of YouTube jail September 6th. So actually, they have changed their restrictions, and come less than 1 month from now, I can do chats back on the TR Prepper website, YouTube website. That is the only restriction I have right now. I can do. I have full do whatever I want on YouTube. The only restriction is I can't do live chats on TR Prepper channel. But that ends September 6th. So less than 1 month from now, these chats will be back on the TR Prepper channel.
And TR, what caused that again? It seems like it's been so long ago. It hasn't been, but what the hell caused that whole debacle?
I reposted a Paul Harvey video. That was it. It was just the audio of Paul Harvey. And I did my own video where I put my own pictures in with the video, and it was like my God, I spent a whole day making that video because it was like a 20-minute video. And the company, it wasn't YouTube, it was not YouTube, it was the company that owns Paul Harvey's audio rights. They posted a threat to YouTube, basically, you know, saying that there was a copyright infringement on the video that I made. Even though there's hundreds of freaking Paul Harvey videos out there, somehow mine got singled out.
You had a troll.
Yeah, I had a troll that turned me in, I guess, and said, hey, look at this. And it was a very popular video. I mean, it had over 10,000 views. And for somebody my size, 10,000 views on video is huge. But it was just strictly a Paul Harvey audio video. And the company made a complaint to YouTube, so they jerked it and gave me a copyright violation. So I will never post another Paul Harvey video again. If it ain't mine, it's not going to be posted. And I went through every video I got, because actually there's still some other videos that has different stuff on it. But I've already got called out. It was just a copyright ID content. It's not even a spank on the hand. They just say, hey, you can't monetize this, but it's okay to leave it posted. So I went through and checked every video I have since then, and I should be good. But to tell you the truth, if it's not my video, I'm not posting it again. But it does suck. I mean, I don't care if it was 1960. If there's a Paul Harvey audio tape out there, if you post it on your website, you could get hit with a copyright strike because there's a company that owns it. Makes no sense. It was a radio broadcast in the 60s, but a company owns those rights. Whether you monetize it or not, it does not matter. You can't broadcast it. So that's what happened.
And now you know the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a tagline from the movie. This whole chat is now screwed.
But hey, shit happens. That's the way it is. Like I said, I mean, they didn't shut down my channel or anything. It is, they restricted me from doing live broadcast. Not that they had anything to do with it. That was just one of the penalties. And it'll be over next month. So Hey, it is what it is. We do this for fun. We do this for entertainment. We do this because we enjoy the interaction, the relationships, the friendships that we make with everybody, and they didn't stop that. So I'm cool with it.
And that's if they could. I mean, I monetize all my videos, but it's just because you can. And if it ever came down to where YouTube said, "Look, we're not monetizing anything," okay, I don't care. that half a, or what is it, a tenth of a penny per? I don't even know what the monetization rate is, but I mean, that's, my brother got whacked. And I don't know, he is so anti-Google, anti-YouTube, but yet he got an Android phone which hooks up to Google, which blows my mind. Which I haven't had that discussion with him yet, but yeah, he got all pissed off because they said that he wasn't allowed to monetize anything, so he just quit making YouTube videos. He still does them from time to time whenever a subject hits him right, but they could just say, hey, look, we're not paying you for it, and I don't care. I don't do it for that monetization. I do it to get the information out there, and I think that's what we all do.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I monetize my videos, and I hope nobody gets pissed off if they have to sit through 5 seconds and then they can skip it. And by all means, trust me, if you watch one of my videos and you have to, sit through 5 seconds and skip the video, you don't watch the fucking advertisement. I don't care. I mean, because the only reason I went ahead and monetized my videos is because they was doing that shit already.
Mm-hmm.
They was doing that to videos I didn't even have monetized. And I was like, well, hell, if y'all doing it anyway, fuck it, I want to do it. Monetize it. Here's my bank account. After I get to a certain point, send me $100
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it is. And trust me, people, trust me. Even at my little bitty level, I hadn't even paid for my fucking cameras yet. My GoPros and my Canon and blah blah blah. What little bit of monetization money I've got, it hadn't paid for that crap yet. So I'm not in it for the money.
Yeah.
I'm not in it for the money.
Yeah,
this is a hobby.
The giveaways that you've done, plus, I mean, it's pretty much like all of us. I mean, some giveaways are bigger than others, but I mean, damn, you're paying money just to show appreciation for the people that watch the stuff. That monetization, it might offset it by like 10%, but I mean, it's about giving back. That's pretty much what it is.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I spend a lot more money doing YouTube, doing the giveaways, improving the cameras. Yeah, that's out of my pocket. That's just appreciation. When the One-Eyed Patriot, let me grab this. Hopefully I won't trip over too much stuff. When I was, and I've done this. I've won contests and I paid it forward and stuff like that. I could have got nice things. The One-Eyed Patriot, a couple of years ago, gave me this. He nominated me. I know it's not showing up, and I probably shouldn't put it too much in camera so you can see my name. Not that it really matters, but that's how I got to be a Kentucky Colonel. It was because I give to the community. And I'm not beating my own chest. I'm not. I enjoy this. This is fun for me. I love the interaction. I love the friendships, and that's what I consider it. All the people that I make friends with on YouTube are just that. You're my friends. Tyler East, Sandy's Passions, AZ Patriot, Jay Gregg, Gimp Geek, Mouse Toes, Blue, Don. You're my friends, and I enjoy doing this. I don't know how we got off on that, but that's where we're at.
No, you're just telling the truth.
Yeah.
It's like one big happy family sometimes.
Just like go ahead, Don.
It's just like how many times me and TR talked on the phone. I'll call him up or he'll call me up just to chat. You know?
Yep.
I mean, it's just like tonight. I wouldn't be here for probably about the last what's it been, TR? 2 months maybe. I had a internal fuck up with my computer, which my microphone quit working, and I just made a simple comment, hey guys, I won't be able to make the chats, you know, because like I said, family of 5, money does get tight, and I couldn't justify spending money to get an external mic. And within 3 or 4 days, and he's often asked not to recognize him for sending it, but TR sent me a mic so that I could be part of the chats, and it's not a cheap mic. It's way above what I need, but that's just the level of friendship in the circle that we run. So it's awesome.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. And yeah, like I said, I mean, I didn't want recognition for it. I was just trying. Hey, you need this, and if I can do it for you, I'll do it. If I can't, I can't. But you know, when I see a friend in need, if I can help out, I will.
He sent you a
Same like
lollipop?
He did. It's a blue mic that is orange. Which is kind of comical, because whenever it came and I opened it up and it said blue, I'm like, oh, he did it on purpose just because of my channel name. But and then he sent me a message before a chat started at one time. He's like, yeah, I was going to get you the actual blue one, but the color difference, which floors me. They charge so much more money just for a color, and I'm like, shit, I'm back on the chats. I don't care, so thanks. That was awesome.
It was like $10 more for the blue, and I was like, well, he'll just have to get by with the orange one. That's the cheapest one. That's what I got to do.
Like a big creamsicle. If anybody out there remembers creamsicles.
Oh, yeah.
I might be giving my age up here again.
No, they were still popular when I was a kid. No, but it's kind of hard explaining the gun community to, like this past week, I hung out with Pops Quest and his family. And when I say his family, I mean his wife, his kids, his mom and dad, her mom and dad, I mean the in-laws, everybody. And I kind of, because they're like, well, how do you know Rob? And they're like, well, we met on Match.com. No, but I try to. It's hard to explain to people that's not into the YouTube community, because most people think you go to YouTube to watch a music video or some crap like that. And the gun community, the bushcrafting, the prepper, the metal detecting, whatever. I mean, the actual gun community, and encompassing the other tangents of that, is not really that big. We're talking a worldwide thing, but there's only a few thousand people that's really in the gun community, and I don't mean the guys that are making a living off of it. I ain't talking about your James Yeager and other people like that, but people like me and Blue and Don, Matt from Resist Tyranny, Johnny, Master at Arms Done. Really, the community is only a few thousand people. We may not be sub to each other, but it's still a really small community. And when we find each other, we all get along, and we all understand what's going on. Dan, the firearm guy, he's a big channel, but he's not so big that when I comment on his videos, he replies to me. I'm not saying he replies to everybody, but me and Dan have a relationship through Don on his chats. So when I comment, he's like, hey, TR commented, let me make a reply. So the community is not that big, and I'm just happy and proud to be a part of it.
Well said, brother. Well said.
Let's see what they're talking about out there. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but that's just the way I feel about it. It is a smaller community than people want to think it is, and it's been an awesome experience, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Yeah, I'm celebrating 5 years this month being on YouTube, so
Dang.
yeah, can't believe it. But I've had a good time. Met a lot of good people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I said, Don, I mean, hell, I got your phone number. I got Blue's phone number, and Rob's, Matt's, Johnny's, and um, it's not uncommon for us to talk to each other. I mean, even people outside the gun community. Bill from Bill and Rosa's solar. What is it? Solar. Crap, I forget now. Bill and Rosa's off-grid cabin or something like that. Yeah, I mean, just different people that you end up being friends with, and call them up, and just have a conversation. Who in the crap would ever have thought when you started a YouTube channel that you would actually exchange phone numbers, much less your name, to somebody?
This is where I live. If you want to stalk me and find me, this is where you find me. And it's, along that same lines. I mean, TR, I'd only known you for a couple months, and remember I had that issue with the rototiller, and I couldn't get the goddamn thing to work. And I was like, shit, TR does a garden. I'm gonna video chat TR, and I punched him up and hit the button. I'm like, TR, this is my rototiller. Did I put the prongs on wrong, or I was like, can you look at this? And he's looking through his computer, and he's like, well, this is what you need to do, and this and this, and it's simple things like that it's like, that outside of your family and friends that may not appreciate what we do as the gun prepper community, you always have somebody else to fall back on to say, hey, look, this is the problem I'm having. Can you solve it? And if TR wouldn't have known the answer, he would have hooked me up with somebody else that did. I mean, that's how we, I almost want to say that's how we roll, but that's how we do things,
No, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, you just got lucky that I happened to be sitting in front of my computer when you called me, but I was more than happy to help. And we figured it out.
Yep. About 15 minutes later, I was tilling up my garden for the first time, and boy, that sucked. That sucked bad. I don't know if anybody's ever taken a tiller on hard ground to break it the first time. Damn, that is not fun.
TR, you just won some kind of drawing.
I seen that. All right, JB Coin. I just copied your Gmail address down. I'll email you. I see there's a Rick. Is there 6? Evidently he got back in town today.
Yeah, he's all busy working in a different state and then flying back to his home state, Just playing 6.
Rick, there's another prime example. Rick lived in California, ended up moving to North Carolina, and me and him exchanged phone numbers, and I've met and hooked up with him a couple of times. Got to go down there and shoot at Farmageddon with him down at Rob's place. I mean, the friendships you make here, if you make a friend on YouTube, more than likely it's going to be a really good friend because you have so much like-minded interest in the same things that, I mean, it's just, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, all the BS is out of the way, and it's just like, I know what Rick likes, I know what Rick does, or whoever it is. Blue, same thing with Blue. I know who he is, I know what he does, I know how he is with his family, there's so much preliminary BS. It's just out of the question. Done. I like this guy or like this gal, and so when you do meet up, you're automatic friends. Just period. You know. That's the way it was with me and Rob, Pops Quest, Rick. If I ever get to shake your hand, Blue, it'd be the same thing with him, Don. I mean, because we've already established a friendship.
Like I've said before, I don't care what I've got to do. I'm coming to the next Farmageddon or whatever. You're my halfway point ride, so you better wait for me.
Hey, it's on.
You're in Pennsylvania, ain't you, Blue?
Yes.
Hey, we might have to work something out where I meet you somewhere in Pennsylvania, and me and you go down together.
I'll tell you, and we could do that, and that's what's awesome about YouTube, because I'll tell you what, as many drugs as I see coming in from Michigan to my area, it's only got to be a 5-hour ride. You could be down here with the key that would pay for your trip, and bam. No, but seriously, if you wanna do the halfway point, like if you want, like once the next Farmageddon comes up, and if all of our schedules are good, which all I have to do is put in for the time off, I mean, bam. You say, hey, I'll meet you at your house at this point, then we'll leave from here, we'll hook up with TR, and then TR can drive the rest of the way because we're too damn tired to do it.
Might do that.
Yeah, if y'all want to do it, like I say, if it's not my place, we'll do Rick's. Rick's might even be more convenient than mine, because he's like 20 minutes from me, right off the interstate. So either way, we'll figure something out. Because I'm pretty sure Rick will want to be there too.
No, I got to meet that damn rooster. I need a video. I need a video with the rooster.
All right, we can do that.
Yeah, that rooster steals a lot of TR's thunder on some of his videos.
Yeah, that's why I did the one today inside. No, it was just easier.
I haven't seen the one you put out today yet. That's usually my in the morning stuff to do, watch videos.
I just did a VR for RPM Idaho.
Yeah, I seen it in my email. I just haven't watched it yet.
I did one for Rich, and then here in a couple of days I'm going to do one for Blue. I got to do a little practicing before I do that. So.
No fair practicing. Just go out and do it.
Well, I'm going to do some point shooting, and I might need a couple of practice rounds before I do it. Because I don't do trick shots. I don't know how to do trick shots. Only like I told Blue, I think I told you, you was in here already. The only thing I can think to do is a point shoot, quick draw with a 45 long Colt, single action. So that's going to be my VR.
BC truck, rebuild, repair. Let me get this straight. Blue wants to see TR's cock.
Hey, I've done a video. You'll have to do a little searching. But if you go and hit my channel and then hit videos and then look, I actually have a video, my awesome cock.
Is that right?
Awesome looking cock. Let me rephrase. Yeah, awesome looking cock. But it, of course, it's the rooster. But that's what I titled it. I couldn't resist. But he is a good looking rooster. He's an Easter egger, so he's got all these different colors and green legs and stuff. You know, he's a cool looking rooster. He really is. But I actually named the video "My Awesome Looking Cock."
You have to go back and check some of the chat out, side chats, Blue. You missed a couple good points.
What did I miss?
Oh, where was it at? It was from BC. Let me find it. Let me get this straight. Blue wants to see TR's cock.
Yes, I do. And I'm not ashamed to admit that.
All right, guys. We've hit about the 2 hour mark, and we might want to go ahead. Awesome chat, and thanks guys for coming on.
Trees.
And we got a Anyway, let's do outro and also
I haven't said that.
He didn't hear you, TR.
Go ahead, Blue. You can do an outro.
Oh, all right. I missed that part. There was a little bit of an echo there for a minute. Now there's still a bad echo. Are you guys hearing that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Make sure you turn your speakers down. Make sure even if you do have a noise canceling microphone, you gotta have your speakers turned down a bit. So I'm not sure you're getting a little feedback. I don't know if it's me or somebody else, but Blue, go ahead and do an outro, and we're gonna wrap this up.
Batting third for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Dawn, I think it's you if you want to mute yourself for a second. All right, there we go. All right, no echo. All right, so yeah, the outro, guys, just get in on the giveaway. Again, it's a trick shot deal. It's easy. Trick shot. I don't care what it is: a knife, gun, tomahawk, blowgun, pitchforks. I've seen it all. Disappearing cards. Get in on it. We got a speed loader from Pop's Quest. We've got silver, 2 ounces. I've upped it to 2 ounces of silver. Those are for the VRs, plus the comments. Bunch of stuff to give away, so get in on it. And TR, thanks for the invite. And hopefully, once Pops has his, I don't know if he's going to do one in the fall, or which if he does one in the fall, that probably won't work out because that's kind of hunting season around here. But hopefully in the spring, because I've got nothing going on in the spring, we'll meet up and have a good time. So thanks for the invite. It was a great chat as always.
Well, thanks for coming in, Blue. As always, you always got an open invitation, and it's always a pleasure to have you here. Don, would you like to go out?
Sure. Thanks for having me, TR, and enjoyed it. Been a good 2 hours, and I'd like to invite everybody this coming Thursday night. What is it, 12th? I don't know, whatever the date is. This coming Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We have our guys, Guns and More chat, and TR will be there, and I haven't contacted the other guys yet, but I know TR will be there, so you're all invited to come to that. Thanks for having me, bud.
Well, thanks for being here, Don. Trees are blowing. He's always got an open invite. You don't get to come in on too many of them. It's a little late for most of the time when I do my chats, but definitely I will be on his chat, which will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time Thursday night on Trees Are Blowing site. It'll be a gun chat. It seems like half the time we're talking about politics, but anyway, I'll be there. And thanks everybody for coming out, and we'll see you next week, if not Tuesday. And if not Tuesday, I'll see you on the Don's Chat Thursday. Later, everybody.
Good night, everyone.